So, 2020.
Tonight with the U.S. and Iran on the brink, and the president alerting Congress tonight the U.S. will respond with force if Iran retaliates for the drone strike that killed top Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani. Who's been cast as carrying Soleimani's remains arriving in Tehran.
That retired Los Angeles Lakers basketball star Kobe Bryant has been killed in a helicopter crash. It happened this morning. The chopper reportedly went down just before 10 a.m. local time.
The NBA has suspended the season after Rudy Gobert has tested positive.
From the writer of Toy Story comes Norm's biggest adventure yet. Norm of the North Family Vacation. This time, he's going to Harbin in China.
Yeah. What a rough start to the new decade. We went into this decade with hopes of greatness, with a bright future, or looking towards a bright future. What we ended up getting was many tragic deaths just in the first 3 months of the year. The threat of World War III. I remember that was trending on Twitter in January of 2020. And there's also one other big thing going on right now, but geez, I can't really recall what it was. I can't put my finger on what it is. I know it's something that is affecting us all. It's widespread. It's something dangerous. It's been very destructive. But I can't figure out what it was. Well, I'm sure I'll catch it eventually. Get it? But you know what, guys? I think the absolute worst thing about 2020 so far, no new Black Critic Guy videos. Not a single one has dropped in 2020, and we're already 3 months into this new year, this new decade. In fact, there hasn't been a new Black Critic Guy video since the previous decade. Well, you know what? That is about to change, ladies and gentlemen. For I, Tony Watley II, the Black Critic Guy, have returned in this time of uncertainty, this time of chaos, and this time of basically being locked in your houses to finally give you a brand new video on the channel. To all of you newcomers, welcome. This is my channel. It's been decaying for a while, but I come back sporadically now and again to basically say hello and then disappear into the void once again. I'm hoping to change that, but I say that a lot and I end up not doing it, but who knows? I'm crossing my fingers. Maybe 2020 might get better from here on. I doubt it. But I've been wanting to do a video like this for some time. In fact, I wanted to do this video back in January of 2020, but I just didn't really have the time to do it with how tumultuous this year has been already, both personally and with my job and what's been going on in the world so far. Yeah, it's been rather difficult to do this video. But you know what? Now that I literally have the time to make videos again, I thought, what the hell, might as well make these videos as I originally planned to make them. And basically this video is just to share my thoughts on the anime that I watched back in the 2010s. Since the decade has now wrapped up, I thought I'd share my thoughts on some of the anime that I really enjoyed in the previous decade. Starting with arguably Key's best anime, not just of the decade but of all time, that's funny as hell, surprisingly touching, and has one of the best and most iconic anime openings of all time. Try not to cry while watching this anime. It's exhilarating, balls to the walls entertainment from beginning to end. This is ecchi done right. Did you get that, High School DxD? Surprisingly, yet hilariously crude and sexual for what basically amounts to a stereotypical comedy anime following a student council. But I really enjoyed it. It's zany, it's chaotic, it's balls to the walls, it's vulgar, it's inappropriate, it's in your face, it's cartoony, it's outlandish, it's slutty, it's disgusting, it's downright reprehensible, and I love the fuck out of it. And that opening theme, panty stocking, panty stocking, yo, panty stocking, ooh, panty stocking. You know, I never thought in a million years that the simple and very mundane act of buying a discount bento could be so action-packed and thrilling. Still one of the greatest visual chess games ever put on screen, and that's not a bad thing. The anime that introduced the world to arguably the greatest yandere in anime history. I dare you to name a better one or more iconic one than Yuno Gasai. Just a superb anime through and through that surprises me each and every time that I watch it, with great characters, an interesting story, and a fantastic balance of comedy and drama. I highly recommend checking this one out, and also checking out its sequel, which is arguably one of the greatest and most hilarious second seasons of any anime I've ever seen. My thoughts on this anime can be summed up with one scene.
Oh my god, 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 oh my god! Somebody just walked up to me! I bet you it's a girl. A really, really cute girl. She probably saw me sitting here reading my book and said, wow, that guy looks really cool. I should go over there and talk to him. Yeah, I bet that's exactly what happened. Well, now that she's here, I gotta seal the deal with a cool line.
The wind, it calms me. But with your presence, my heart just can't stop beating.
Tony, what the hell are you talking about?
I just hit on a guy! Now he's gonna think I'm gay! One of the better horror anime of the 2010s that actually made you give a damn about the characters and the situations they were going through, which is becoming surprisingly and disappointingly rare in not only horror anime, but in horror in general. Really, all that I need to say about this anime is that it's beautiful. From its characters, its story, its animation, and its lovely music. Arguably one of the more fascinating anime that I experienced during the 2010s that really made me think and really made me question what it means to be human. I really liked the twist near the end. I thought it was really well executed. I know it's a very controversial anime. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about it. I know that Digibro and I have different opinions of this anime, but I, for one, really enjoyed the ride. I found it really engaging, and I would highly recommend it. A solid sci-fi thriller anime. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. One of the few anime that have become more and more relatable to me as time has gone on, especially now that I'm working, and still remains a solid and entertaining anime to watch. Hasebe, you're still my bro. This anime was not only a genuine surprise to me, as I did not expect it to be as good as it was, but it is a freaking rarity. It is a 3D anime that I thoroughly enjoyed and made maritime action look freaking awesome. You're never gonna see that again.
いい加減にして欲しいけどあなた君といる
One of my all-time favorite romantic comedy anime that did the role reversal brilliantly. Sakura is without a doubt one of the best redheads in anime, and I will never forget that bicycle built for two scene. It cracks me up each and every time that I see. It's so silly. From one of my all-time favorite romantic comedy anime to one of my all-time favorite comedy anime. This anime is just downright hilarious. I can't remember one episode that did not register a laugh for me. Everything about it was funny. I love the characters, I love their situations, I love the overreaction by Kazuma, and that scene with the love triangle. Just like the bicycle built for two, I'll never forget that scene. It's so hilarious. Very touching, very heartwarming, very endearing. It's arguably one of the best anime about friendships I've ever seen. The anime truly lives up to its name, as it's so kawaii. Again, one of the most unique anime I've ever seen. Not just for its animation style, but in the fact that they made ping pong matches intense and engaging to watch. Freaking ping pong matches! They made them seem like boxing fights. In my review for this anime, I described it as the anime version of Game of Thrones. And I still stand by that wholeheartedly, as it's one of, if not the only anime that I've ever seen that fleshes out its antagonist as much as it fleshes out its protagonist. You get each perspective. The villains are just as interesting as the heroes, except for that one bitch. We'll never ever like her, ever, after what she did. Yona is without question a top 10 anime heroine of all time, and arguably the best redhead in an anime. I know a lot of people would say Asuka is, but I think she trounces Asuka completely. And the anime overall is really exciting, really engaging. I really enjoyed watching it. And now that we've reached the halfway point of the video, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a quick break from all the talking with even more talking, as this video was sponsored by a brand new podcast called Otaku Guam, a passion project started by my good friend, Sexiest Man of 2016 recipient, and the father of anime conventions here on Guam, Felix, and hosted by yours truly, Tony Wally II, aka the Black Critic Guy, and Jovan the Odd Child Tamayo. This is basically a bi-weekly hour-long podcast where we talk all things nerd and geek related. Movie news, the latest films, the latest comics, the latest manga, things that are going on in the nerd community, and of course, anime. We gotta talk about anime. I talk about anime on my channel. How can we not talk about anime in a nerd geek podcast? We just released our first episode where me and Jovan the Odd Child debate which one is better, comics or manga. I think we all know who won that debate, huh? Wink, wink, wink. But if you'd like to see our first ever podcast episode, or our first ever episode, I should say, there's a link in the description that will send you straight to that video. And while you're there, why not subscribe to the channel? Help support this new podcast. We hope to make it something really big. I'm really excited to continue working with these guys. It was a whole lot of fun doing the first 2 episodes, and I promise you, it's gonna get better and better with each new episode. So be sure to go check out the Otaku Guam podcast. Link is in the description. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and stay tuned for more epic videos from us. And now with that said, let's get back to my video, shall we? Koro Sensei not only is one of the more unique characters I've seen in an anime, but is arguably one of the best teacher characters I've seen in an anime. And for an anime that has over 30 plus characters, I liked each and every one of them. I found them all interesting. I found them all entertaining. It was overall a fascinating premise and an enjoyable anime. You only gotta say one thing in regards to Ore Monogatari. Yamato! Oh my goodness. Where do I begin? Where do I begin with an anime like Shimoneta? Well, let's start off with the fact that it has one of the more unique, outrageous, yet original premises I've ever seen in an anime, where basically it's a dystopian world where pornographic material is outright banned. You cannot have it, and if you do, you go to some type of facility, you go to some type of jail, and this one girl wants to start a revolution wearing a panty on her face to basically try to say, you know what, we need these pornographic materials, they need to come back. And she recruits this bland guy to help her. Their group is called Socks, I believe, if I remember. There's a girl whose head is literally shaped like a penis. There's Anna, the most iconic character from Shimoneta, a character that I've grown to love over time, and is... oh my goodness. There's so much you could say about Shimoneta. One video, or one small segment of a video is not enough to explain it. Go watch my review. Go watch my review. It's one of my favorite reviews I've ever done. And that is actually one of my favorite anime that I watched during that time. You know, there's a surprising amount of anime in this video where the lead is a red-haired female. You got Genkan Shoujo no Ozaki-kun, Yona of the Dawn, and now here we are with Snow White with the red hair. Literally in the title. But what made this such a standout anime to me, why I thoroughly enjoyed it, and why it is one of the best anime I saw in the 2010s, was the dynamic and beautiful relationship between Shirayuki and Zen. It is arguably one of the best romances I've ever seen in an anime. Top 10 romances of all time. They were the heart and soul of the anime. They carried the anime and they pulled it off with flying colors. I also gotta give it up to Shirayuki just as a character. She's brilliant, one of the best female characters I've saw in the 2010s, one of the best redheads of all time, and the voice acting. Love the voice acting. Some of Funimation's best work. There's only one proper way to honor this anime, and it's with this scene right here.
The highest honor awarded to Dr. Nefario for your years of service, the 21 Falcon Salute.
An overall solid and entertaining mystery anime that completely falls on its face in the last 2 episodes. It had the potential to be something truly great, but it missed it by that much. But I still really liked it. I think by now we all can agree that My Hero Academia is a worthy successor to Naruto, Bleach, and Dragon Ball before it. It is a really good shonen action anime with exhilarating action, fun characters, and an engaging story. Plasu Altera! This anime is just cute. It's absolutely adorable and has one of the best portrayals of a kid character I've seen in anime. She acts just like a real kid. I love it. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it right here, right now. Best anime opening of the 2010s. Not one of, the best anime opening of the 2010s. I dare you to find a better one. Oh yeah, and it deals with ice skating, I think. Yeah, it's pretty good. A true rare gem of an anime that tackled a lot of dark issues, dark feelings, teen sex, which I don't see a lot in anime, which to me is quite surprising, and actually did something I never thought an anime or even a story could ever do. Take an absolutely reprehensible bitch of a character and not only make her relatable, but likable by the end of the story. That's fantastic! Also, I love the way that the anime ends. It doesn't end where everybody lives happily ever after. It ends a bit more realistically, where not everybody gets what they want, not everybody ends up in the relationship that they want to be in, but just the many different ways that this anime goes, and many different directions, many different subject matters that it addresses. It's really a remarkable experience in my opinion. As I stated in my review, this is without a doubt one of the truest and purest romantic comedy anime I've ever seen. And as a romantic comedy fan, I love the shit out of it. Outside of the weird and downright disgusting pedophilic vibes I get from the anime occasionally, I found this to be a borderline great adventure anime with a compelling story, interesting, fascinating, likable characters, and a lot of thrills and intensity, especially the further down the main characters go. This is not only one of the best romance anime of the 2010s, but strangely enough, it's one of the most cinematic anime I've ever seen. The visual storytelling in this anime is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I rarely see visual storytelling being done in anime, so when I see it, it's such a breath of fresh air and such a welcomed surprise. And there was so much of it in After the Rain. I loved the relationship between the two leads and how it wasn't creepy at all. Even though he was an adult and she was a teenager, it never crossed that line to where it became really uncomfortable, really creepy. They handled the story beautifully. And who says educational anime can't be entertaining? Again, another anime that I wasn't able to do a review of, but man, did I really love the hell out of it. I loved the characters, I loved his personal journey, how he had to deal with so much trials and tribulations. I also loved how the story really attacks the idea of being a hero. Like, there's a difference between doing heroic things and being a hero. I like that they address that in the story. It's very rare that a lot of stories address that, because there is a difference. You can act heroically, but in the process of being heroic, you do something stupid that actually has long-term effects to the realm. Whereas being a hero means doing things that may make you look like a bad guy, you may not be comfortable in doing, but you have to do for the good of the realm. Wow, I've turned into Varys all of a sudden. Now this one, I'm in a bit of a unique situation because I've not finished it yet. But from what I've seen so far, it has not disappointed. It has definitely lived up to the hype. I expect no less from Ufotable. They always have brilliant animation, great character designs. But the story is also very compelling. And I'm only like halfway through the series. I can't wait to see what else it has to show me. But from what I've seen so far, it is undoubtedly one of the best anime of the 2010s. That is without question. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will conclude this video where I share my quick thoughts on some of the anime I watched and thoroughly enjoyed that came out during the 2010s. Now, of course, I didn't see all the anime that came out in the 2010s. If I did, I would have been dead by now. So be sure to share the ones that really stood out to you in the comment section below. And do check out our new podcast, Otaku Guam. Link will be in the description. And until the next video comes, guys, if you'd like to see more videos of the channel, be part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm Tony Wally II, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace. Now wait a minute. This just dawned on me. There was some anime that I clearly watched during the 2010s and clearly came out during the 2010s that I didn't talk about in this video. But why didn't I? Why would I do something like that? What could be the reason behind it?